I just went under contract on this piece of land, which is 1.5 acres in size, for my very next project, which is going to be a speculative house that I'm going to build and sell and make over $750,000 in pure net profit. And in this video, we're gonna tour the land and I'm gonna complete some due diligence on the land. I'm gonna go over my vision for both the design of the pool and the house. I'm going to cover the projected cost and projected profits. And lastly, I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm financing this entire project. Let's go. Right now we're at the front of the property and I'm happy to see that all the utilities are already in and underground. This lot will have underground telecommunications, underground electric, underground gas, but no sewer. Therefore, I'll have to do my own private septic sewer system. So I'm happy to see all the utilities are in the ground. This is a 1.5 acre property located in a brand new residential acreage development that will soon in the future have an approximate 1,000 lots, 1,000 homes in it in the next couple years. The development has only completed the first section out of 5 sections, which consist of roughly 115 lots. So I came in right at the perfect time. There were still about 10 to 15 lots for me to look at whenever I connected with the developer, and this is the one that I've selected. So let's check it out. So the developer who purchased this probably thousands of acres decided he's going to subdivide it, put in all the infrastructure, the roads, the drainage infrastructure, the utilities, and sell it off, subdivide it and sell off the 1 to 2 acre tracts of land. And they seem to be doing a great job because they already have all the pavement in, the utilities in, the drainage infrastructure for section 1. And they seem to do a great job keeping the street clean, maintaining the drainage easements. They've already got it all seeded or grassed, and I'm excited about the developer having a great reputation. But this is my lot. It's 1.5 acres in size, and I decided to select this one out of the other 15 that I had to look at because it has the least amount of hidden development cost associated. Obviously, you can see that it is fully wooded and there are a bunch of trees, and that goes for every lot inside this development. Since this was completely raw land, hadn't been touched in maybe forever in its entirety existence, they're all heavily wooded. None of them have been underbrushed, and they all have a fairly steep natural grade. But this was my favorite because it has the least amount of slope and also the least amount of hidden development cost. So now let's check out and do some due diligence with my lot purchase checklist to see exactly how much this lot is going to cost to develop it into a finished home. So given that I am now under contract on this piece of land and still have about 3 weeks left to close, I have to complete due diligence to make sure that this project can be profitable, it's feasible to even build a house here, and really to uncover all the hidden development costs associated with this piece of land to see how much is it going to cost me to develop this raw piece of land with unpredictable surprises into the finished house that I want to build and sell and ultimately make a large profit on. So in order to complete that due diligence, I use a checklist that I've created called the lot purchase checklist. This checklist just kind of streamlines the due diligence process and covers roughly 100 different factors that need to be evaluated, inspected, and investigated during this land due diligence process. And on this list, it covers items like location and surroundings. Number 2, legal and regulatory considerations. Number 3, site conditions and preparations. Number 4, utilities and infrastructure. Number 5, permitting cost and approval processes and timelines. Number 6, driveway connection and public sidewalk requirements. Number 7, nuisances, disturbances, or inconveniences. Number 8, easements, right-of-ways, and maintenance responsibilities. And lastly, number 9, property taxes, and future assessments. So this checklist will not only help uncover the hidden development cost, which are costs that are going to be incurred to turn this raw land into a finished development, but it will also uncover several different factors that could affect the future resale of the property and make it either a very highly desirable project that will sell very fast, or one that will uncover many things that will make the project sell very slowly, which of course costs money and carrying cost. So after doing all my due diligence and evaluating the land purchase checklist entirely, I uncovered that this is a bomber land selection for this project. And here are the hidden development costs that I've uncovered. There will be a culvert installation needed to cross the street into my driveway, and that culvert pipe and installation will cost me roughly $3,500. The next development cost is obviously tree clearing. This lot could have hundreds of trees, maybe 500 trees or 1,000 trees, I'm not sure. But several, as you can see, several very mature trees. And I'm going to have to underbrush this entire lot, take out all of the very small trees. These 2, 3, 4-inch trees got to go. We will plan on keeping the larger mature trees that are greater than 6 inches in capillary measurement. And then I will have to completely clear out the driveway location, the house pad location for the house, and the pool. And the tree clearing for the site prep is going to cost roughly $15,000. Next is excavation, grading, and compaction. And that is a part of the build where we're going to excavate out the organic material that's currently on the ground, scrape out the top 6 inches of material to remove all the bad soil. And then we're going to start bringing in good compactable soil that can hold the capacity, the load-bearing capacity of a several 100,000-pound foundation and future house. And the excavation, grading, and compaction will cost $35,000 estimated. Next is utility cost. It'll cost roughly $2,500 to connect to the city water, $0 for the electrical connection because the electrical company, the provider, does not charge a fee to hook up, $0 for the gas connection, $0 for anything related to the telecommunications because that's all there for the future homeowner and the future telecommunications provider like the Wi-Fi company to run that line. So I don't have anything related to that as the builder. Septic sewer system, since there is not city sewer infrastructure with big pipes running under the street for all the houses here in the community to connect to for sewer, means then I have to install my own private septic sewer system. Each house in this development is going to install their own private septic sewer system to handle the sewer. And for roughly a 5,000, give or take, square foot house, that's going to cost me about $10,000. The last two hidden development costs, one is permitting. I will have to permit the house and also the septic sewer system. The house permit will cost like $300. The septic sewer system will cost $150. So a total of $450 in permitting cost from the county, and those will be very quick to get. I can probably get them in roughly a week. And then Architectural Control Committee submission, which is the fee that I have to pay to submit that to the ACC or the HOA to approve my plans, is $12,000. They take up to 30 days to review and approve. Hopefully it gets approved on the first go round. And they also have included that $8,000 of that $12,000 can be refunded if I do not incur any fines for doing anything wrong. If I don't damage the roads or any of the community property, I could get $8,000 back, but I'm gonna plan for the worst because I've gotten screwed in the past by an HOA. So a total of $12,000 to the HOA. So that brings the total hidden development cost to develop this raw piece of land into the finished home of $78,450. That number played a huge decision-making figure in me choosing this specific lot in comparison to the others that I had available to choose from because it is gently sloped, it's not steep slope, therefore saving me a lot of money in dirt work, excavation, and the need, or rather I say no need, for a retaining wall. This property being 1.5 acres in size, which is rather large, it has a little bit of an odd shape in comparison to just having a square or a rectangular shape. It has like a pentagonal triangular shape, which is skinny in the front, wide in the middle, and then narrow down in the back. So I'd like to explain my vision that I have in mind for this project. First, that is going to require me to build a longer driveway, which I think is beneficial because it will have a little more privacy for the future owner, and I will be able to set the house back off the street. Instead of sitting it back 50 feet off the street, it's probably going to be 150 feet off the street. Therefore, it's going to have a long driveway leading up to a beautiful landscape, beautiful curb appeal house from the driveway, and then a rather long backyard. And this house is going to have a transitional style, and transitional is the style that's really trending right now. And I'm not going to say it's my most favorite in the world, and it's not one that I would build for my forever home, but it's what's trending right now. It's what's popular. It's what people are buying and paying for. Therefore, it's what I'm going to build on this project. And transitional is really a blend between traditional and modern. Therefore, it's called transitional. So I'm excited to show what this house is going to turn out like in the future. Also with the building plans and the video renderings I'm going to show very soon. But this house is going to be roughly 5,700 living square foot. and that's air conditioned space. And then it's going to be a total of 7,200 framed square foot. Framed square footage includes the non-conditioned space, such as the garage and the covered patios, the front entrance. So this house is going to be 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms. It's going to have a downstairs office and a rather large upstairs flex space. And I think at this size home, this custom of a home, and this price point of a home, it's important to incorporate those specific areas like a flex room and a office. And then for unconditioned area or other framed square footage, this house is going to have a 3-car garage, a small covered front entrance, which is going to be a very cool feature on the building plans, and then also a backyard covered porch with big sliding glass leading out to it, a kitchen under that covered back porch looking out to the pool and spa combo. And of course, I'm building a pool and spa on this project, even though most spec houses do not build a pool and spa on their homes. I'm doing it because I want to do it and it'll be fun, but also I believe it will help the project sell faster than the others because ours is going to have a pool. I don't know why other spec home builders don't include pools. Maybe it's because you don't get that great of a return on the investment, but who really would want to buy a $2.2 million home, move into it, and then just tear up all the landscape by having to go in there and build a pool and watch the construction of their pool for 2 or 3 or 4 months? I don't know who would want to do that, but it definitely wouldn't be me. So I'm excited about standing out from my competition here in the area by building a pool and spa combo in the back and really making the home turnkey for that future owner. So I believe my house is really going to stand out from the competition. Obviously, there's quite a bit of competition here where other spec home builders are building houses. They're all going to go on the market to sell. And every month that this house sits on the market in the future, once it's completed, is going to be costing me roughly $12,000 to $15,000 per month that it doesn't get sold, which will obviously eat into the profit very fast. If this home sits on the market for 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, that'll get very expensive. So that's my vision for the project. It's going to have a beautiful long driveway leading up to a grand house from the front. It's going to have beautiful landscape in the front, a really cool backyard, covered patio, pool and spa combo looking out to a big long backyard as well. So here's the current version of the preliminary line itemized build budget. I had to put together this budget for the bank's loan processing purposes. And this build budget currently consists of about 40 different line items, all line items that it's going to take to build this house. Starting with the lot purchase at $270,000, a porta-john or a porta potty, $1,200, dumpster and trash, $5,000, lot demo, $12,500, culvert installation, $4,000, excavation, grading, site prep, $50,000, foundation turnkey, $52,000, framing, $79,125, siding, cornice, and window labor, $15,250, window material, $27,750, exterior doors, $15,000, shingle roof, $17,500, brick, $50,000, stucco, $10,000, HVAC turnkey, $40,000, plumbing turnkey, $47,500, technology, which is stuff for like Wi-Fi, speakers, surround sound, $5,000, electrical turnkey, $39,000, insulation turnkey, $9,000, drywall, $32,500, paint, $23,500, gutters, $3,850, interior doors, $17,000, staircase carpentry, $15,000, staircase railing, $5,500, cabinetry, vanities, closets, $55,000, millwork, $7,500, stained concrete flooring downstairs, $15,325. Actually, that's going to be polished concrete flooring, not stained. Wood flooring for upstairs, $18,000. Quartz, $38,000. Tile, $5,000. Garage door, $5,500. Landscape, $45,000. Driveway, $22,000. Appliances, $30,000. Mirrors and glass, $5,750. Final clean, $750. And the pool and spa combo package, $75,000, giving us a total construction budget of $1,170,000. $100,000. And as I mentioned, that's a preliminary build budget, not one that I put together for my own sake, but one that I had to put together for the bank, but thought I would just go over it with you. Given that it's a preliminary build budget, it's how much the current budget is, and it will be interesting to see how much that budget changes from now, leading up to construction as the design changes, and then obviously the final cost of the project. So current budget, including the land, construction cost of the house, construction cost of the pool, $1.17 million. So to put it in a cost per square foot perspective, if I take the total $1.17 million project cost, subtract $270,000 of the land, subtract $75,000 for the pool, that gives me a total construction cost of $900,000. $900,000 divided by 7,200 framed square feet gives a cost to build of $125 per square foot. Using my proprietary build to sell profit calculator, I can quickly and easily project my net profit and net profit margin on my upcoming project. I love this tool because it's quick and easy and it really streamlines this process. And I only need to know 11 data points or numbers to plug in, and it auto calculates and does all the rest for you. So starting with the land purchase price, $270,000. That is what I'm currently under contract on the land for. This next section pertains to loan cost. Loan to cost, or LTC, is 85%. That means that the lender is going to lend me 85% of the total project cost, and I have to put in 15% as a down payment. I'm not going to touch any of the blue cells because they auto-calculate. Instead, I'm only going to worry about the white cells. So that number will change as I go through the rest of the tool. Origination fee is a 1% origination fee for my lender. Next is interest rate, which my lender has told me my interest rate for the construction loan is going to be at Wall Street Journal prime interest rate plus half a point. So right now I believe prime is around 7%. Add half a point, that's 7.5%. But I'm going to put 8% just to be a little conservative. Next is number of months in a year. That's 12, obviously. Number of months you will carry the loan. I'm going to put 12 because I believe I'll only carry the loan for 12 months. That's from the time I close on the land and close on the loan all the way until the home is sold and the lender gets paid back. I believe 12 months is a conservative estimate because I hope to build the house in less than 6 months, get it listed, and hopefully list it for sale and close within 60 days. That's my goal. 6 to 8 months is how long I want to carry the loan. So given there a 12-month estimate and the number of months I'll carry the loan, fairly conservative. For this project, I'm getting a 24-month interest-only construction loan from a regional size bank. So I'm not getting hard money. I'm not getting private money. I don't have any partners in this investment. I'm putting all the money down on the project myself. Therefore, I'm keeping 100% of the profit. So that's the benefit of not working with a partner. The next section pertains to cost to build. So the total build framed square footage is going to be 7,200 framed square feet. I'm working with a draftsman right now who is assisting with the design and drawing the plans, and right now we're at a total of 7,200 framed square feet. That includes the living square footage, the garage, the covered back patio, and the covered front porch. The cost to build rate per square foot, my cost to build rate per square foot on the frame square footage is $125 per square foot. The pool package cost, I'm including $75,000 inside the budget. So $75,000 for the pool package cost. That gives a total build cost for the home and the pool, $975,000, almost $1 million. Next, we move on to this section, which is related to sales data whenever I resell the home. Starting with the build living square footage, which is currently at 5,700 air-conditioned living square footage. As I mentioned, I'm currently in the design process, and that is the number we're currently at. Average sales price per foot. On the high end, homes are reselling inside that development for $400 per square foot. I'm also going to adjust this number down to the average sales price per square foot in a second, so stay tuned for that. That gives us a projected sales price of $2.28 million. Moving on to the last number I need to adjust, which is the closing cost, which for most people is around 7%. 3% for the listing agent, 3% for the buying agent, and then 1% for the title policy. But for me, I was strategic, and my wife I encouraged my wife to get her real estate license. So she is a licensed real estate agent. She represents us on every transaction we do. Therefore, we save a significant amount of money. So instead of my closing costs being 7%, my closing costs are only going to be around 4%. And that completes everything that I need to adjust. And what we want to look at is down here in the bottom, which is everything that has been auto-calculated, starting with the land purchase price, $270,000. Next is total build cost, $975,000. Bank fees, about $11,000. Bank interest, around $85,000. Closing cost, around $91,000 I'm going to pay in title policy and to a real estate agent. That's crazy. Total project cost, $1.43 million. Projected sales price, $2.28 million. And then drum roll for the last two numbers. Projected net profit, $848,000. Net profit margin, 37%, which is very healthy for a spec home build to sell. But I will adjust one thing, and that is going to be the average sales price per square foot. On the high end, a couple homes have sold for $400 per square foot. And I think that could be a fairly accurate number for what this home could sell for. If the market increases, but I can't depend on that. Instead, what I can depend on is I'm building a pool, which is going to be a feature that will increase the sales price per square foot. It's going to make my home more desirable. And also, I'm building a little nicer home than some of the others in the area. I'm kind of maximizing the investment. I'm building a little bigger house with a little nicer finishes, making my home stand out a little more than the rest with a little higher end features. Therefore, it should sell for a higher price point on the data spectrum, which is $400. That would give me an $850,000 net profit and a 37% profit margin. Extremely good numbers. But if I drop that average sales price per foot down to $365 per square foot, which is what all the data actually supports. If you look at the data from the past 12 months, all the new construction comps that have sold within the past year show an average of $365 per square foot. That will leave me with a net profit of $660,000 with a net profit margin of 32%. Still very healthy, but I think that's a little too low because my home is going to stand out from most of the others in the area. So I think the most realistic sales price per square foot is going to be in the middle of $365 and $400. So I think it'll be actually $385 per square foot. And that's the number I'm going to base my real projections off of, leaving me with a net profit of $766,000 and a net profit margin of 35%. If I could skip forward about 10 months from now, I would be ecstatic with any of the three possibilities, whether it sold at $365 a foot, $385 a foot, or $400 a foot. I'd be happy to collect $650,000, $750,000, or $850,000. But that's how I'm projecting $750,000 in pure net profit for this project. So my goal with this project is to have it completely finished and sold by the end of this year, which is just 9 months from now. So my timeline with this project is I went under contract about 3 weeks ago, and my contract included a 45-day closing period. So I have about another 3.5 weeks before I close. And once I close on the land, meaning I obtain ownership on the land, I'll be able to get my building permits, which should take no time at all here in my specific area, maybe a week. And then I'll be able to submit my building plans for approval from the Architectural Control Committee. That process states that they have 30 days to make a decision. Hopefully they don't have any comments or request any changes and they just put the stamp on it to approve it. And I'll have my approval within 30 days after obtaining ownership. So hopefully within about 6 weeks from today, I'll be able to break ground on the project. And then I hope to complete the project within 6 months timeline, which should really not be that challenging whatsoever. Building the foundation will take roughly 30 days. It'll have to sit for maybe 2 to 3 weeks to let it cure. Then I'll be able to start framing, which the framing stage, which includes the framing, the windows, the doors, the roof, getting everything weather tight and dried in should take roughly a month and a half. And then I'll be able to transition on to the mechanicals, MEP, mechanicals, electrical, plumbing, insulation, drywall. That phase will take another month. And then I'll be able to move on to the finishing stage, which will take another 2.5, 3 months. Meanwhile, I'll be building the pool and spa combo at the exact same time, all to finish the construction of this project within 6 months after I break ground. And then hopefully I'll be able to sell it and close on it within 2 months after I get it listed once it is fully complete. So that's my timeline and my goal, to completely finish and complete this project, get it completely sold by the end of this year, and collect my $750,000 in pure net profit. So I decided to build a $2.2 million price point project for my next project because honestly, it takes the same amount of time and effort to build a $300,000 to $400,000 house as it does a home just like this that I'm getting ready to build, $2.2 million price point. So I scaled as a home builder by building my first house at $305,000 price point to keep as a rental. Then I scaled up to a $430,000 price point. Then I scaled up from there to a $1.25 million price point, and now I'm scaling up to my fourth home build with a price point of around $2.2 million. So you can see there's a trend that I've continuously scaled up, all in an effort to maximize my return on my investment and my return on my time. It takes the same amount of time and energy to build a $300,000 house as it does a $2.2 million price point house. When in comparison, you build a $300,000 house, you're gonna make 50 grand. You build a $2.2 million house, obviously gonna make north of $750,000. And yes, obviously one's a little more challenging, a little more moving parts, but would you rather make $50,000 in 5 months or $750,000 in 8 to 10 months? So that's the reason I decided to do a $2.2 million price point. And obviously from here, once it is finished and when I get ready to start my next project, I will scale up again in some regard, whether that's doing 2 or 3 of these at a time or going up to the $3 million price point. That is yet to be determined, but that's why I decided to do a $2.2 million price point project for my next spec house built to sell. If you're looking to learn how to become a home builder, then click the link in the top of my description or the link in the pinned comment to check out my masterclass and community bundle. The masterclass is a course that will teach you step by step how to build your first house acting as a general contractor. Everything from finding a profitable deal, finding the land, assembling your team of subcontractors and suppliers, budgeting, scheduling, preparing for construction, managing the job site, all the way through turning the key on your first finished home build. You'll also get a community where you can interact with myself, ask Q&A, and also interact with other home builders inside the community, as well as you will get access to bonus educational videos that I will be sharing every single week from today until this project is completed, showing you exactly how I'm doing what I'm doing building this house. If you're not yet subscribed, then scroll down, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on my future videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.